Hello everyone and welcome to another Minecraft Redstone video. This video I'm going to be showing you a very cheap quarry, and because this is cheap does not mean that um, it is inefficient or has downsides. It only has one downside, and that is that it is not 100% TNT efficient. It can be doubled, but it is still just as efficient as my old prototype. And as you can see, the return stations are extremely simple and easy to build. Just simple straight lines of slime block and honey. And this side's even simpler. And then the flying machine's also just a simple terracotta flyer that pretty much does not break as easily, and it's a lot more reliable and simpler to build. So yeah, this is glazed terracotta. It can be anything, um, but that's the whole point of terracotta flyers. If you don't use terracotta, they will break. Um, so the first thing is at least 97 blocks of air between the highest point of where you're going to clear out um, is needed between these redstone blocks. And these redstone blocks are kind of what make it TNT efficient. It puts them in a 4 by no, 7 by 7 grid of TNT, which is very efficient, and it blows it up using the least amount of TNT. Um, and the highest point will include trees, mountains. So if you just have like one single mountain, it might be a good idea to mine it down to save on TNT. And cutting down trees is definitely also worth it. You're also going to need to clear out water and um, maybe even lava if you're going to go down that deep. Um, and of course, this is a dispenser facing downwards filled with TNT. Um, amount of TNT depends on how big your quarry is going to be. And um, the layout of the redstone blocks are going to be 7 by 7 grid, or in simpler ways, 6 blocks of air between each one of these redstone blocks. Um, so the reason why it only has half the TNT efficiency is because the flying machine moves down only once every time it goes back and forth. The maximum TNT efficiency would be if it went down block, came over here, went down one block. But that will add a lot more to the return stations. So I do have uh, my newer design of my prototype that I showed in my last core video, and as you can see, it's a lot bigger. This one does have two dispensers, so even though it does look a lot bigger, it kind of does save time in building space, but um, it does work a teeny bit differently. Uses a more complicated flyer and return station. Um, and this is just my first test. So it does create a nice hole without leaving any blocks behind. So this is the maximum TNT efficiency. I will be making a video on that very soon. But first I would like to show you this one, because someone on my Discord um, wanted something simple, and I decided, you know what, why not? I can improve my old design, and this is what I came up with. And once I break this block, the flying machine will move, and the reason why I'm using signs is because they instantly break. Um, a better alternative will probably be grindstones in survival because you can just stand on them and just bridge across. So if you want all your flying machines to be in sync, use either signs or grindstones. So now I'm going to just break these, and I'm going to activate the flying machine. The flying machines will come down to here, and then this will activate that piston. Then move down one block. The flying machine also moves down, I guess, half a block because one half of it moves down. It's going to go through one cycle without dropping TNT, so you can make sure everything's fine and working. And this piston pushes down the redstone. And this is pretty much the same thing. This observer powers this piston and it brings down everything. Now this half is lower, so now the TNT should start dropping. And it will drop all the way down. And I did add a little bit of wiggle room so you can see the TNT drop, and it won't break blocks yet. It will on the next time this side moves down. Yeah, the return stations are super simple. And this is just a pretty small quarry. It's only a couple chunks. And so you can see it work faster. But should start dropping TNT on the next round is my guess. Watch this from this angle. So now this all moves down a bit. Let's see if it blows some blocks up. Oh, oops, still a bit high. I guess I'll just cut to that. And I'll let it run for a bit more. So now that the TNT has finally reached lower, I made a mistake in calculating the TNT drop height. It was actually 93 blocks, not 97. Sorry about that mistake. It'll just mean that you use more TNT. But now you can see the efficiency in action. So drop down and leave these blocks. And if Bedrock did have a 100% drop rate, you could just walk back here and collect some of the blocks if you wanted to. But this flying machine does move pretty fast, so it will be a bit hard to grab everything. But yeah, eventually this will start burrowing down in this area. So the whole concept is that instead of dropping TNT every time this moves forward, if we just not power the dispenser and just do it with these redstone blocks, we can choose whenever we want to power these. So technically, if you want to bomb the end, all you really have to do is move these a bit closer and add a bit less gap between these redstone blocks, and it could work with headstone. You'll just use a bit more TNT. That's what's pretty flexible about this design. And it will go straight down, just like my old prototype. But this is just a ton more simpler. And I won't be doing a world download because I don't think it is necessary. Because this is pretty much all that it is, and it's terracotta fire with a couple extra observers and pistons. And for the larger version, I will be providing a world download. And it is pretty easy to calculate how much TNT you need. Just for every Y level, calculate the 7x7 grid you have and multiply it by 2. I do have some other plans on world eaters other than that one and this one. I do plan on making a simpler automatic version of Zunabchev's world eater, Project Arcturus. Not really good at pronouncing that, but that one, it does have a couple advantages. It's a bit, very little difference in TNT efficiency, but it's a lot faster because it dispenses TNT a lot faster with the same TNT efficiency. So yeah, I think that'll be a pretty good thing, and also it will have a lot more TNT capacity, so you can do gigantic quarries and perimeters with it. And next I'll show you where to like build this. So here are the three parts of the quarry right next to each other. So you can see, pause the video here or take a screenshot so you know at what height to build these so it doesn't crash into the return stations in the wrong way. And this is the other direction. And this does need to be honey so it does not stick to this. Um, if you want to, you can switch the honey and slime out if you want to. Just make sure that these are opposites. And this does need to be a redstone block, not an observer. That's actually pretty much it. These are sticky pistons, and so is this one and this one, and that is pretty much it. Um, and it looks like this broke because it was outside the simulation distance. Um, but it's okay because these are um, pretty hard to break permanently. So all you have to do is just grab a block, activate this again, and it's good as new. They don't even need to be sync because they're completely independent of each other. It just looks a bit better. And yes, now start digging a hole straight down. You can see no blocks are being left behind. Um, and it will result in pretty clean walls. Um, about like this area will be like mostly about how clean it would be. And you can always just clean the blocks up. And this can go all the way down to bedrock layer without crashing into here. And that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, thank you. Please consider subscribing. See you in the next Minecraft Resta video.